Shh. What are you playing at? I left a message. I wanted you to phone me.
Yes, and instead I decided to call round in person. Profound apologies, but that's the sort of ignorant git I am. So what's the panic?
I spent last night stuck in an air raid shelter with an accordion player who did non-stop George Formby impressions. So I was late getting home, and I've forgotten the cover story we agreed to tell Yvonne. Now, was I supposed to be working in Basildon or Braintree?
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham? I'm losing it.
Yeah, well, don't get your knickers in a twist. I haven't spoken to Yvonne yet. You could tell her you were running guns to Guatemalan rebels if you want. Ever since I said you could pretend to be working for me, to cover your jaunts to war-torn London, you've abused the privilege and been home late every night.
You don't know that's true?
It's what Yvonne told Stella.
All right, so you do know that's true. OK, so I've been taking liberties, but it's not much fun for me in 1994 at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid it can't go on anymore. I'm going to have to sack you.
Sack? Reality check, Ron. It's not a real job, remember?
It is as far as the girls are concerned. Stella thinks I'm a slave-driving ogre who's putting your marriage on the line by making you work too hard.
But I'm already unemployed. Do you realise what it'll do to my self-confidence if I can't even hold down a pretend job?
I insist on a peaceful home life. If I'd wanted turmoil, I'd have married for looks. Stella is even making me do my own ironing.
I'd never have guessed. I'll sort it out. I'll make sure everybody knows that the hours I've supposedly been working are down to me, all right?
Yeah, we'll do it soon, OK?
Scouts on.
My God. You don't give your employees a chance to rest, do you, Ron? I'm only sorry we haven't got any children you could send up a chimney. And I hope you don't make a habit of hassling Gary before 8 in the morning. I normally like to eat my muesli as God intended.
Without sugar?
Without clothes. If I have to start dressing, I'll have to start paying the window cleaner. Good morning, Gary.
Look, it's not Ron's fault I'm working late. My hours are down to me. And I'm a salesman without a car, so I'm at the mercy of British Rail.
Really?
And selling's a very time-consuming business, especially if you're new to it. I can't go anywhere until Ron and I have had exhaustive discussions.
So where are you off to today?
We haven't exhaustively discussed that yet.
Reading?
Reading sounds good.
I'll make sure I'm home early.
What? You mean you can actually spend some of your precious time with little me?
Yeah.
Well, tough. There's a wine and nibbles party after work. So tonight, I'm going out.
It's all right, I think we've lost him.
Oh, Gary, you are a terror. Fancy knocking off an ARP warden's helmet.
Well, he was asking for it, pompous little twit. Excuse me, would you mind not obstructing the alleyway? There could be emergency services trying to get through. You give these guys a tin hat, they think they're Churchill. Gonna have to start knocking off ARP helmets on a regular basis.
That's for a lovely afternoon. It was only what you was after down that alley.
Good to you, Ron. Well, I'd better get you back to the pub.
I don't want to go in there just yet. Well, going in there back to Reg and all the others means the afternoon's over. I want to hang on to it for a little bit longer. It's been the first time, God knows, that I actually forgot about the war for a little while. Do you know what I mean?
War? What war?
Oh, smashing film, wasn't it? I've wanted to see Gone with the Wind for ages.
Actually, you know, you look a lot like Vivian Lee.
Oh, stop it.
Well, go on then.
What?
You're supposed to say, I look a lot like Clark Gable.
There's a touch of the Stan Laurels about you.
You can go off people, you know.
What are you doing tonight?
Not a lot.
I want to cook you a meal. Oh, don't look like that. I can cook, you know. Come up to the flat at about 8 o'clock.
But aren't you worried about what the neighbours might think? You know, a married woman entertaining another man.
No, I'm past caring what anyone thinks. Most of them round here think we're already at it like rabbits anyway.
Do they? Dirty-minded lot.
Well, I suppose I better go in. I'll see you at 8.
On the dot.
Quick bath. And then, no, I better just check. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner, you and me. If you could see what... God, that George Formby when he goes in your head. I don't believe it. Air raid, 9:30 tonight. That means we're going to have to share our pudding course with 20 rejects from Help the Aged. That means I'm going to be late home again. Why should I feel guilty? She's gone out, flaming wine and nibbled. Whining about me and nibbling on some bloke's ear, I suppose. Right, what's your complaint, mate, then?
Hello, Gary.
Come on.
I heard you singing. Has something happened?
No, it's just a tune that was going around my head. What are you doing here? I mean, what happened to the wine and nibbles?
Didn't fancy it.
Something wrong? Seem a bit down.
No, it's nothing much. It's just one of those days when you look at your life and you realise it's a complete and utter mess.
Shall I get you some evening primrose?
I'm not having a period, Gary. PMT is not the major cause of depression in women. And it's not likely to be as long as there are men in this world.
Well, I'm sorry.
What for?
I'm not 100% sure. It just seemed the safest thing to say. It's about me working all these hours, isn't it?
Yes, it's about you working all these hours.
I had realised it was getting on your nerves.
No, you hadn't. Ron told you it was. And I know because I told Stella, knowing she'd tell him and knowing he'd tell you.
Why not just tell me?
Because I'm your wife. I like to give you the chance to give the impression that you're capable of original thought.
I'm perfectly capable of original thought. What about that invaluable electronic personal organiser I surprised you with on your birthday?
Poor fool. You really believe you were sent that brochure on a random mail shot?
Right. So once I'd behaved like a well-manipulated little puppet and told you I'd be home early, why did you throw it in my face?
To get back at you. Oh, you really don't understand women at all, do you?
Apparently not.
Look at me. Now I want you to be honest. Is all this time you're spending at work just an excuse to get away from me? Now, I know I gave you a hard time about wanting a baby and you're losing your job.
Oh, don't be silly.
Then why are you late home every night? And I don't believe all that rubbish about selling being a time-consuming job. You have never let work rule your life.
It's Ron. You're right, he's a bloody slave driver.
Well, don't let him do it to you. Put your foot down.
From now on, I promise.
I don't want to lose what I love, Gary.
No, nor do I. Look, let's go out for a meal together.
Yes, tonight.
No, not tonight.
Gary!
Well, I promised Ron. You said you were going out.
And you said you were going to put your foot down.
Yes. Right. I will.
Two birds, and they both want you in different places at the same time. It's the classic adulterer's dilemma.
I'm not an adulterer. I never have been, I never will be unfaithful to Yvonne. Well, not in the same space-time continuum.
The only course of action I can see open to you is to bite the proverbial bullet and choose between one or the other.
You have an incredible knack for stating the obvious and taking 20 minutes to do it. I know I've got to choose, but which one? Whichever one I reject, I lose. Yvonne already thinks I'm giving her the cold shoulder, and this invitation from Phoebe is a pivotal moment in our relationship. If I cry off, she'll take it as rejection.
Surely not.
Women back then were, a lot more sensitive.
Even so.
Ron, have you ever been romantically involved with a girl born during the First World War?
Although partial to the older woman, Gary, even my upper age limits fall some way short of 79-year-old.
Leave it to one who is, eh? God, fate really loves to paint you into a corner, doesn't it? The night Phoebe invites me to dinner is the same night my wife decides to save our marriage. God, listen to me, I'll turn into such a chauvinist.
I think your average Cosmo reader would be reaching for the castration scissors. But your fellow man knows where you're coming from, pal.
If I was a full-blooded chauvinist, it'd be a lot easier. Oliver Reed had seduced Phoebe over the hors d'oeuvres, then cold-bloodedly see to Yvonne between the coffee and the after-eights.
Keeping a date with both of them. Now that'd be cool.
And I could do it. There's an Indian restaurant at the present-day end of Duckett's Passage, right? So that is where I take Yvonne. Then I pretend I've got a dodgy tummy, right? Keep going to the toilet, nip out of the window, go to Phoebe's, then make a similar excuse to Phoebe and spend the night flitting between the two.
What about clothes?
Honest. That double-breasted suit Yvonne made me get for her cousin's wedding, that should just about cut it in both eras. I'd only have to keep it going till 9:30. There's an air raid then. I can tell Phoebe I'm needed back at work.
It's bold. It's audacious. It verges on the lunatic. But if you can pull it off, it will belong in the pantheon of man's achievements, along with landing on the moon and making sure women are the ones who get pregnant. However, if the bog in the Indian doesn't have a window, you'll be bargeed.
The toilet's through there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Gary, where it says toilet. What's the matter with you?
Oh, I just feel a bit, yeah.
Well, then isn't Indian the best place to be? You can go home if you want.
No, you're fine.
Ooh, what are you having for starters?
Oh, whatever you're having.
Good evening.
Evening.
Can I get you something to drink?
Yeah, I'll have a lager, please. Gary?
Yeah, fine.
So, Ladalia. Please don't be put off by our lack of custom. We've only been open for 18 months.
Well, I suppose it takes time for word to get round.
Absolutely. I've got an ad in the local paper, but I think I need something more direct. You know, leaflets through the letterbox, that sort of thing.
Well, if it's leaflets you're after, my husband can help. He's a sales executive for a printing firm. He'd be delighted to help, wouldn't you, Gary?
Well, yeah, I was just going to go to the toilet.
It can wait, can't it? You don't want to lose a sale. What such thing did you want?
Say 3,000 double pages, A5 brochures with full colour and laminated paper front and back.
Well, go on then, Gary. How much?
Well, I need to work it out, and I really must go to the toilet. Excuse me. Don't worry if I'm a little while. A window, yes.
F.A.B. Scott. I thought disguise would be appropriate. If Yvonne caught a glimpse of me, the whole operation would be blown.
Yeah, did you get the wine?
Vintage Chateau leg over.
Beg your pardon?
Invited into Phoebe's private quarters, I thought you might be planning to finally consummate your relationship with her tonight.
Ron, in the course of the next 80 minutes, I've got to have 2 3-course meals with 2 different women, whilst commuting between an Indian restaurant and an East End pub that are 200 yards and 53 years apart. Now, trying to fit a meaningful sexual encounter into that kind of schedule might just be considered pushing my luck. What do you think?
The boy's tense. It's not a good sign.
Hi.
8 on the dot, you said. You're late.
Sorry.
You look hot. Have you been running?
Yeah, well, I knew I was late, you know, so... Bought some wine.
Oh, very posh.
You look nice.
Oh, thanks. I'm wearing those stockings you got me. They look all right.
Yeah, terrific.
Come and sit down.
So, What are you cooking for us, then?
Well, to start, there's MI5 soup.
MI5 soup?
Yeah, best you don't know what's in it. Then we're having lamb chops.
Lamb chops? Where'd you get those? Don't you know there's a war on?
Well, the butcher always has a few things under the counter, and I just happened to have a spare barrel of beer at a knockdown price for his daughter's wedding. You're not the only one with contacts, you know. I want tonight to be special.
Yeah, I'm going to have to keep nipping out to the phone box at the end of the street.
Why?
Well, there's a bit of a flap on at work. They want me to keep in touch.
Well, you can phone from here.
Well, public lines are more secure. Careless talk, all that. I won't let it spoil the evening, I promise. Look, let's open the wine, eh?
I've got a corkscrew in the kitchen. Gary, this wine?
Yeah, well, I know, strictly speaking, we should have red with dark meat, but I don't think it really matters, do you?
Well, to hell with the colour, it's German.
I'm going to kill you, Ron.
Who's Ron?
Ron's my wine merchant. He's obviously got lumbered with this stuff and tried to fob it off on me. Sorry.
You ought to report him. He could be a fifth columnist.
No, he's not. He's just very, very stupid.
Well, I'm not drinking anything that's been trod by a Nazi jackboot. I'm throwing it down the sink.
Yeah, of course.
You're lucky Dad's not here. Remember what he was like? He'd have you shot for catching German measles.
Yeah. Good old rational Eric. I do miss him. The table looks nice. You didn't have to get your best china out for me.
It's not my best china. It's my only china. A bomb went off 3 streets away. The cat went berserk and knocked all the crockery off the dresser. You can't get replacements for love nor money.
God, the time.
Hope you like it. It's mock oyster, actually.
Mock oyster.
Yeah. It's made from cod's heads and whale meat.
Lovely.
Well, careful, it's very hot.
Oh, spice. Oh, delicious. Look, I'm going to have to check in at work, okay? I won't be a tick.
So far, so good?
Where did that wine come from?
Threshers.
Try Germany. Oh, no.
Don't you think you should slow down a bit?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm playing footsie. You're not complaining, are you? Gary? Why is one of your feet soaking wet?
Oh, yeah. I filled up the hand basin in the gents, you know, to wash my hands, and I put my foot up on it to tie my shoelace, and it slipped in and got wet. Well, you never done that?
Is everything all right? Are you enjoying your meal?
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, lovely. Really, really
Oh,
lovely.
have you done that quote for Sanjay yet?
Oh, no, please, don't let me interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Well... So, you wanted
3,000.
3,000 on the... and then just carry that through. Is that all right?
You're joking.
Oh, no, all right, not 50 off that then.
I was going to say that's really cheap, but if you can knock off another 50, that's even better. Thank you. Sunil, more chicken tikka here, please.
Shut up, Gary. Gary, you don't look a gift course in the mouth.
What's up, Gary? Don't you like my cooking?
No, it's delicious. I'm just not a very big eater.
Well, don't you waste it. Remember what Potato Pete says. Wasting food's as good as giving it to Adolf.
Of course.
I'm worried about you. One minute you bolt your food, now you can't face it, and in between you're rushing to the toilet. What are you, bulimic or pregnant?
I'm fine, honest. Mmm. Yum, yum.
Is that your stomach, or are we on top of the underground?
Sorry.
Is the soup pudding all right?
It's lovely.
I wish every night could be like this, Gary.
Ron. Sorry about that. I was listening to live commentary from the match at Highbury. I suppose it was inevitable that I'd doze off.
Terrible. I'm a total embarrassment. And I hope to God I'm suffering from chronic indigestion, otherwise I'm in the middle of a major coronary.
Which way are you headed, past or present?
Present. I've just shared the world's largest suet pudding with Phoebe.
Suet pudding smashing.
Not on top of soup, with double chicken tikka, lamb chops, potatoes, peas, mutton vindaloo and bindi balsams.
Hey, what little? I mean, there's nothing to you. You're built like a whippet. I've seen more meat on a butcher's pencil.
Now listen, I've got to go back to Phoebe's once more. I think the going to the toilet for 15 minutes excuse is running out of gas, if you'll pardon the pun. So we need to switch to plan B, all right? Now, you give me 5 minutes, then come into the restaurant.
You didn't tell me exactly what Plan B entails.
No, I didn't, did I? You say you like suet pudding?
Yeah.
Oh, at last. Gary, get the bill.
Oh, we can't go now. We haven't had our coffee and our hot flannel yet.
You've spent half the night in the loo. You're obviously ill, so let's go home.
No, I'm fine, honest. I won't be going again tonight.
You shouldn't have to go for another fortnight.
I can't believe it. Oh. You enjoyed yourself?
The few minutes we've spent together have been nice, yes.
I don't believe it. How could you do this? I saw him earlier and he said he had to discuss business, but I said no. I put my foot down. I said, I am taking my wife to dinner. So what does he do? This tyrant follows us here.
You're a disgrace, Ron Wheatcroft.
Sorry. Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry for the disturbance. I'll take this outside. You better stay here, love. It could get ugly. Come on.
Brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Thanks a lot. I've got to get round to Phoebe's.
Of course, I don't look like a complete git.
I told you I wanted tonight to be special.
It has been.
You've spent your whole time rushing out of here.
I'm sorry, but like I said, there's a flap on at work.
You sure that's not just been an excuse?
For what?
Avoiding me. I wanted us to spend the night together. Tonight. And you guess that's what this meal was all about. You don't understand women very well, do you?
Doesn't seem to be a particular strength of mine.
Perhaps you're just not interested in me.
Of course I am. It's all I've thought about for... Well, not all I've thought about, but... I've thought about it a lot. Look, Phoebe, if I have been slow on the uptake, it's because I didn't want to start something I couldn't finish.
I don't think you'd have that problem at me.
I haven't. The reason I've had to keep checking in tonight is because we're almost certain there's going to be a raid.
What's new?
Well, we think the Germans might be using a different kind of bomb. I'm going to have to go. They want me for evaluation purposes.
And what time can we expect this raid?
Any second now.
I'm sorry, you should have told me.
Didn't want to spoil our evening.
This bloody war spoils everything.
Look, there'll be other evenings. I'll make sure of that.
I even went to the chemist for you.
Well, there's no need for you to do that.
Why? Do you always carry a spare toothbrush?
All sorted then? I suppose so. Congratulations, old son. Men all over the world will be taking a bit more of the duvet tonight.
Ron, I've spent the entire evening lying to and deceiving the two most important women in my life. How do you think that makes me feel, eh?
Married with a bit on the side? Listen. Tonight could have ended in 3 shattered lives. But you've managed to sort it, so that there's been no casualties. Excuse me. Hello? I think I've just become the evening's first fatality. The voice you hear ranting on the other end of this phone is Stella. Yvonne's just phoned her and told her how I seemingly dragged you out of the restaurant. Consequently, I'm going to go through an experience which can only be likened to Dante's journey through purgatory, while sitting next to Graham Taylor on a long-haul flight.
But I'm not like that.
Precisely. Now, the only thing that will sustain me through my misery is the knowledge that I have helped others. So I want you to smile, go back into that restaurant, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
You're a good mate, Ron.
Right now, I think I'm the best mate in the world.
Oh, by the way, if somebody asked you to print 3,000 double-page A5 brochures with full colour and laminated paper front and back, could you do it for that?
Yeah, of course. If I wanted to go bankrupt. Why?
I'll tell you later.
Goodnight, sweetheart, sleep will banish sorrow. Goodnight, sweetheart, till we meet tomorrow. Dream and hold you, remember I'll hold you. Goodnight, sweetheart, goodnight.
Is the soup pudding all right?
Lovely.
I wish every night could be like this, Gary.
Sorry about that. I was listening to live commentary from the match at Highbury. I suppose it was inevitable that I'd doze off.
Terrible. I'm a total embarrassment. Well, I hope to God I'm suffering from chronic indigestion, otherwise I'm in the middle of a major coronary.
Which way are you headed, past or present?
Present. I've just shared the world's largest suet pudding with Phoebe.
Suet pudding smashing.
Not on top of soup, but double chicken tikka, lamb chops, potatoes, peas, mutton vindaloo and bindi balsams.
Hey, what little? Phoebe's private quarters. I thought you might be planning to finally consummate your relationship with her tonight.
Ron, in the course of the next 80 minutes, I've got to have 2 3-course meals with 2 different women, whilst commuting between an Indian restaurant and an East End pub that are 200 yards and 53 years apart. Now, trying to fit a meaningful sexual encounter into that kind of schedule might just be considered pushing my luck. What do you think?
boys' tense. It's not a good sign.
Hey,
8 on the dot, you said. You're late.
sorry.
You look hot. Have you been running?
Yeah, well, I knew I was late, you know, so... Bought some wine.
Oh, very posh.
You look nice.
Oh, thanks. I'm wearing those stockings you got me. They look all right.
Yeah, terrific.
Come and sit down.
I don't believe it. Air raid, 9:30 tonight. That means we're going to have to share our pudding course with 20 rejects from Help the Aged. That means I'm going to be late home again. Well, why should I feel guilty? She's gone out, flaming wine and nibbled. Whining about me and nibbling on some bloke's ear, I suppose. Right, well, 2 complaint night, then.
Hello, Gary.
Come on.
I heard you singing. Has something happened?
No, it's just a tune that was going around my head. What are you doing here? I mean, what happened to the wine and nibbles?
Didn't fancy it.
Something wrong? You seem a bit down.
No, it's nothing much. It's just one of those days when you look at your life and you realise it's a complete and utter mess.
Shall I get you some evening primrose?
I'm not having a period, Gary. PMT is not the major cause of depression in women. And it's not likely to be as long as there are men in this world.
Well, I'm sorry.
What for?
I'm not 100% sure. It just seemed the safest thing to say. It's about me working all these hours, isn't it?
Yes, it's about you working all these hours.
I had realised it was getting on your nerves.
No, you hadn't. Ron told you it was. And I know because I told Stella, knowing she'd tell him and knowing he'd tell you.
Why not just tell me?
Because I'm your wife. I like to give you the chance to give the impression that you're capable of original thought.
I'm perfectly capable of original thought. What about that invaluable electronic personal organiser I surprised you with on your birthday?
Poor fool. You really believe you were sent that brochure on a random mail shot?
Right. So once I'd behaved like a well-manipulated little puppet and told you I'd be home early, why did you throw it in my face?
To get back at you. Oh, you really don't understand women at all, do you?
Apparently not.
Look at me. Now I want you to be honest. Is all this time you're spending at work just an excuse to get away from me? Now, I know I gave you a hard time about wanting a baby and you're losing your job.
Oh, don't be silly.
Then why are you late home every night? And I don't believe all that rubbish about selling being a time-consuming job. You have never let work rule your life.
It's Ron. You're right, he's a bloody slave driver.
Well, don't let him do it to you. Put your foot down.
From now on, I promise.
I don't want to lose what I love, Gary.
No, nor do I. Look, let's go out for a meal together.
Yes, tonight.
No, not tonight.
Gary!
Well, I promised Ron. You said you were going out.
And you said you were going to put your foot down.
Yes. Right. I will.
2 birds.